Hey everybody, William here with the Carshare Academy. Welcome to the channel. Glad you're here today. We're going to talk about market analysis. But before we get into that, I want to ask you to just take a minute. Be sure to smash that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of the fantastic videos that are going to come after this one.
I want to become a host on Turo, but I just don't know what car to get. How do I find out?
Out of all of the work that we've done since forming the Carshare Academy, market analysis is the thing that we've spent the most time on. As of right now, the day that I'm recording this video, July 11th, 2021, we've spent over 200 hours building market analysis on cities all across the United States. And I think today we're at about 35 cities that we've completed. We have another dozen or so that are in production to be completed over the next week. And that number just continues to grow every week. And the reason why we've spent so much time on market analysis is because, quite honestly, it is the most important thing for a new host to understand. The title of this video is Understand Your Market Like Your Life Depends on It, and really it kind of does. That's not an exaggeration. In all of the Facebook groups that you may be a part of, the Turo Facebook groups, you're going to see this question asked over and over again, just like my friend Lavelle here asked it in that little video clip. I want to be a host on Turo, but I just don't know what vehicle to bring into my market. And before you do anything else, before you invest money in a vehicle to bring into your city, that is absolutely the question that you need to be asking, because few things are as painful in life as putting yourself in a difficult financial position. And it's really easy to do in this business, especially if you don't understand the business, if you don't understand the market that you're in. You could really be setting yourself up for some pretty painful financial scenarios down the road. So I'm making this video to really focus on market analysis. I'm going to kind of give you an overview of what a market analysis is, and then I'm going to introduce you to the market analysis that we do here at the Carshare Academy. Now, you can certainly do your own market analysis. What we're doing here, there's nothing magical or mystical about the work that we're doing with our market analysis. You can certainly do that. But it is very time consuming. And there's two things that you need to do a accurate and actionable market analysis. The first thing that you need is data, and you need complete data. Now, anybody can go on the Turo website and pull up your city, pull up a date range, and look at the vehicles that are available, look at the prices. You can even look at how many trips each vehicle has, and that's a good starting point. You should absolutely be doing that on your own as part of your research, but there is so much more to look at than that. You really need a complete data set. And I'll be sharing with you some of the data that we pull together in our market analysis. The number two thing that you need for an accurate and actionable market analysis is experience. You need, it's more than just numbers on a screen that you're looking at. You have to be able to take those numbers, interpret those numbers, apply those numbers to your market in the context of other markets across the United States, and really be able to arrive at some good, sound recommendations for vehicles to bring into your market. And a lot of you watching this video are probably brand new hosts. Maybe you don't even have a car on the platform yet and you're just wanting to get started but don't know where. Or maybe you've got one or two vehicles on the platform and you've got a few trips under your belt and you're wanting to scale, but you're really not sure about your market yet. That's where we come in. We pull together 13 different data sets to help build an accurate analysis. And then we apply years of experience, over 1,800 completed trips of experience. We apply that to the data to help you understand your market. So I'm going to cover with you 4 things that you need to discover in a market analysis. And the number one thing is, what is the current inventory in your market? This is really easy to do. You just go to the Turo website, you put in a date range several months out, you pull it up, and there's all of your vehicles, pretty much all of the vehicles that are in your market. And you can just scroll through that page page after page and see what's available. That's the easy part. You also need to understand what is performing and at what rates. And this is where, you really need to take a look at trip counts and things like that. There's a lot of other data that really will give you some insight into how those vehicles are performing. But that's the second thing you need to understand. You're going to find a lot of vehicles in your inventory that are just sitting there with 0 trips, or maybe 3 or 4 trips. Do you know how long those vehicles have been on the platform? Do you know how new they are, or how many years they've been there? There's a lot of metrics that you need to look at to make sense of those numbers. What isn't performing? This is where you're going to see those vehicles that look like they've been on the platform for 3 or 4 years, and maybe they have 6 completed trips. Why is that? Is there something wrong with the profile? Is there something wrong with the listing? Or is it just the wrong vehicle for that market? And believe me, in every market, there are wrong vehicles for that market, and you don't want to get stuck with those. And the fourth thing is, where is the opportunity? And this is really what the market analysis is built to achieve, and that is to show you where the opportunity is. Here's the inventory. Here's how it's performing. Here's what is not performing. Now, here's where you can come in and do really well as a new host. So those are the 4 most important things that you need to discover from a market analysis, whether you're doing the research on your own or you're working with us here at the Carshare Academy to do that research. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to transition into walking you through a Carshare Academy market analysis. So you'll get kind of a glimpse of what we do. You'll understand the product that we produce and how it can help you with your Turo business. All right, let's jump into it. Okay, I'm going to take you to the Carshare Academy website. This is where you're going to begin exploring the various analysis that we've put together for cities across the country, and you can even request one for your city if we haven't done it yet. So when you come to the Carshare Academy website and this particular page for the market studies, you're going to scroll down, and the first thing that you're going to see here is an interactive what we call a Turo market health map. Every time we complete an analysis, we drop a pin on the map to show that we've completed that analysis, but to also be able to give you at a glance the health of that market and a few fast facts about that market. So I just want to share a little bit about this map with you because it might come in handy, and this is a way for you to just get a free quick glance at your particular market. So this is interactive. You can open up this window right here and you'll see our legend. Now, all of the circles on these cities, they're color coded for a reason. The green circle means that this is a relatively healthy market. So now, what do we mean by that? A healthy market, as we identify it, is a market where we believe, based on the data, that a new host can come into the market with a vehicle and fairly quickly begin seeing utilization and earnings from that vehicle. And it's also a market where there's some opportunity for expansion. Now, of course, all of this requires some planning and some understanding of what vehicles are performing well and which ones aren't, like we talked about before. But the green cities are the cities where you should feel the most confident coming in as a new or aspiring Turo host. Now, the orange circle, these are our proceed with caution cities. These are cities that we've analyzed, and we found some metrics that make us think that you need to exercise some caution coming into this market. There are some things that just aren't quite as favorable, and you're going to have to do a little bit more due diligence. You're going to have to be more careful with your vehicle choice and with your pricing. These are markets where you can come in and be successful, but you need to be careful, and you need to do this wisely. Now, our red markets, like we see down here in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, these are markets that we have identified as being saturated. There's just way too many vehicles in this market that are sitting parked, not booked. They're not being utilized. They're not generating earnings. And there's just too many vehicles here. The inventory is too large for the demand. And these are the markets where we encourage hosts to maybe just reconsider. You know, if you're stuck in one of these cities and you don't have the opportunity to host somewhere else, you might want to reconsider beginning a Turo host or a Turo business in this city. Now, can you make it work? Yeah, Probably, but you are going to be facing an uphill climb from day one, and you're facing a considerable amount of risk. So that's what the circles mean, the color coding. Now you can scroll here and see the list of all of the markets that we've completed. And again, this is updated almost every day. So we're going to close the legend here, and you can hover over a city and click on the dot, and it'll pull up some fast facts about that city. So Miami, we have a couple of fast facts here. Inventory is approximately 5,500 vehicles, and we have a link where you can order the complete market analysis for that city. We can go to another one here. Let's go to, let's try Hampton, Virginia. You'll see that we've got approximately 260 vehicles in this city. We've got some other fast facts here that we've been able to interpret from the data. For instance, how important is it to be an all-star in this market? Well, right now it's a fairly minimal impact. It's not going to impact your bookings that much. Same thing with instant booking, minimal impact. Delivery, minimal impact in this particular city. And again, there's a link where you can order a market analysis for Hampton. So this is our interactive map. Again, it's updated almost every day as we complete new analysis, and it's right here on the web page for you to view. All right, I'm going to take you inside a market analysis now and show you a little bit about what you're going to receive whenever you have us do one of these analysis for you. And we're going to begin right here on the first page, where we talk a little bit about the market as it exists today. And as you can see, we're going to have at the top of the page there just some fast facts about this market. And then we're going to spend some time breaking that market down for you and really answering these questions that we talked about at the beginning of the video. What does the inventory look like? How is it performing? In what ways isn't it performing? What are some of the challenges that the host is going to face in this market? And that's what we're going to discuss on this first page. The next thing we're going to do is show you a map of where the inventory is geographically located in your market. And this comes from the Turo website. And what you'll notice on this map is that wherever we drop the pin for a data set, it's going to pull the inventory from that specific location, but it's also going to pull a inventory from a radius around that location. And this map that you'll find in the analysis is going to show you kind of how that inventory is laid out in your area. Now, there are a few other pages in here that I'll skip past right now. It just kind of shows you the breakdown of the top 5 car brands and the top 3 SUV brands and the vehicle counts for each of those brands in the city. And once you go past that, you're going to come to this page right here, where we drill down even further into the brands themselves, and we identify the top 5 models for cars and the top 5 SUV models. And this is based on inventory. We're going to show you where that inventory is by price point. And we're going to show you things such as average trip counts. We're going to show you average daily rates. We're going to show you earnings potential by model. We're going to show it to you first on the car page. We identify the top 5 performing car models. And then we show that to you as well for the top 3 SUV models. And the reason why we do 5 cars and 3 SUVs is in most markets, cars outnumber SUVs by a ratio of about 2 to 1. Cars, that's the leading category in almost every market that we look at. And that's why we focus more on cars than we do on SUVs. But this is the information you'll get at the level of the best performing models in that market. So after we've walked you through the inventory as a whole, and then we've drilled down to the top leading brands, and we've drilled down into those brands, the leading models within those brands, now we're going to come to our conclusions and recommendations page. And this is where we kind of tie it all together, and we explain to you what all of this data means and what the implications are for you as a host coming into this market. And then we're going to actually make anywhere between 7 to 10 specific recommendations on models that you can safely bring into this market that will perform for you based on the data that we've been able to analyze. We're going to bring you suggestions on specific car models, and we're going to bring you suggestions on specific SUV models. So you'll find all of that on this page right here. Now, after you've reviewed all of our conclusions and recommendations, we're also going to provide you with all of the hard data, or the raw data that we use to build this report. And there's 5 pages of that data in the appendix at the end of the report. These are just screenshots of all of the pages in the Excel workbook that we use. So the heart of the report is really focused on the leading brands and the leading models within those brands and how they're performing. We also, on the top 5 car models and top 3 SUV models, we also show you the second position models for each of those categories. But in the raw data is where you're going to be able to see everything. You're going to see all of the brands broken down by price point, how many there are in each price point for both the car and the SUV categories. So you can take all of the data that we've presented you in our recommendations and the models that we've shown you, and then you can spend some time digesting all of that raw data for the market as a whole and see if you can maybe come to some additional conclusions for models that might work well for you that we did not highlight. Okay, so I opened up the video by explaining how important a market analysis is before you bring vehicles into that city. And I'm going to close the video saying the exact same thing. This is super, super important work, whether you do it on your own or whether you let us help you with that work. I'm going to ask you, if you're an aspiring or new host, to please spend some time analyzing your city before you go out and invest in vehicles. Your financial health really does depend on this. If you bring in vehicles that are not going to perform, it's going to be very painful dealing with those payments and those insurance premiums until you're able to make an exit from that vehicle. So, hey, we're here to help you. You'll find these analysis, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll find these analysis at www.Carshare Academy. And I'll put the subdomain right down here on the bottom of the screen. I'll also link to this in the description. Come on over. We'll help you out. And hey, I wish you all tremendous success. Happy hosting wherever you are. And as always, we are here to help. Have a great day.